Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur.
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the spot!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Stanley pour les Canadiens, le 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together they work the young team to the top. And now a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup.
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. 8.6 beer. Intense by nature. And Luggage. If the last time you went to Luggage was when the Habs won the Cup, it's time you went back to Luggage. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro, the Sick Podcast on this Wednesday, November 30th. It is just a couple of minutes past 10 p.m. Eastern, as I'll try and get my phone out of the way here. It's on a little tripod, and there it's out of the camera, and just like that. And the can right over here. I probably should have done a test, but what do you want to do? It's one of those days. How's everyone doing tonight? We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter. And to all of you watching on Twitter, our Sick Army, our community, thanks for being there. And we're going to have a good night tonight. We're going to have a fun night because I know it's going to be a funny night tonight because Marc-André Perreault of TVA Sports is my regular collaborator on Wednesday nights. And I'm going to bring him in, and then we're going to tell you a funny story. Is he there? I would imagine he's there because I think he's been warming up for a while.
Trust me, I've been ready for a while.
So I think it's around 9:05 or so. And I'm set up in my basement in my home. I have like a podcast studio. If I would move the camera, I've soundproof. I got soundproofing on my ceiling. I got kind of like soundproof boards, one to my left, one to my right. I have a soundproof carpet. I have a 4K camera. I have some pretty heavy duty LED lights. I have a Ericsson Tascam Mixcast 4 board. I got a professional microphone from Ericsson as well. I got my tripod with my phone here. I got all my wires. I'm set up. I'm ready to go. So usually what I do, I watch my games in the other room and I watch my sports. And then I come over to this room at around 9:30, 9:35 or so. I start getting set up. And Marc-André texts me at around 9:05. He says, what's the link? Because we have a link that we use. It's kind of like a Zoom link. But we have a link, and I send him the link, and he usually gets the link, and it's emailed to him by Agnello and Sammy. And so I figured, all right, he didn't get it. So I text him the link, and I go, here's the link. And he goes, yeah, it's not working. So I text back the same link. And he goes, okay, yeah, I'm ready to go when you are. I said, Marc-André, it's 9:05, man. We're on in an hour. Because I'm an hour early.
That's what happened when you travel too much.
Yeah.
And I thought I was already in Vancouver, but I made a pit stop in chilly Calgary because it's minus 28 with the wind chill here.
Yes, because of course Vancouver's 3 hours behind, but Calgary's 2 hours behind.
Yes, and it happens sometimes at the end of a long road trip. Sometimes I'm in my bed, I wake up and I can't remember where I am.
Okay.
So it happens. But
you were a little bit off. You were a little bit confused with the times. You've been traveling a lot and all that stuff. Hey, so
yeah, but you know what?
Calgary,
I had the time to see it's pretty cold. It's windy. It's snowy. But I had time to watch that crazy third period, that crazy finish between Buffalo and Detroit. So that was good.
Yeah. The Maple Leafs, by the way, victorious over the San Jose Sharks.
Did.
And the Ottawa Senators lost again to the Rangers. But most of you already with a tablet in hand probably are aware of that. But so it's cold in Calgary. There's snow on the ground, right?
Yes. No, not that much, but it's cold, and I think it's something like minus 35 in Lake Louise. So it's chilly. You never know in Calgary. Sometimes you get here, it's hot because of that Chinook wind. They call it that warm wind coming from the mountains. Yeah. So you never know. But I was ready. But at the beginning of my career, I was not always ready, and I can tell you, I had some brain freezes because of that. I was not ready, basically.
I hear you, bud. We'll get to it in a second. The Sick Podcast brought to you in part by Energy Transportation Group, a leading full-service logistics provider serving all of North America, driven to be different. I don't know if it's current because I'm not much into weather, but if it is current, because I saw on social media that Vancouver has a lot of snow as well. I think that pretty much everyone has their summer tires. I just don't know if the video is a current video, but I think it is.
Yeah.
Vancouver got snow. Is that right?
Yeah. They got snow, and yeah, it was a weird day. I didn't get my luggage yet. It was a direct flight, so yeah, it's weird.
You didn't get your luggage yet.
I did not. Direct flight. They forgot like one truck. Like they did not put the luggage on the plane.
So you're So because you're going to be in Calgary and then you're going to Edmonton.
I'm not going to. Renault is going to Edmonton. I'm going to Vancouver for 4 days and then Seattle for the back-to-back.
Okay.
So that's why I get just a white plain T-shirt.
No, I hear you, bud. But so you pack more than just a carry-on? You actually bring a luggage with you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to the Vancouver, Arizona game on Saturday, so I need a suit and need a suit for tomorrow. And
I see.
You see, so yeah.
Sick Podcast brought to you in part by Luggage. If the last time you went to Luggage was when the Habs won the Cup, it's time you go back to Luggage. The menu will surprise you. All right, we have a lot to talk about, and not just your travel plans today, of course. Let's get to it, okay? There's a lot to talk about, but Marty St. Louis, very outspoken last night after the game, blaming the power play or lack thereof. My question to you: is he just A, stating the obvious, B, not happy with his power play coach, C, not happy with his players on the power play, D, all of the above?
I would say C. Marty St. Louis has been very clear that what he wants is 1-2 pass, boom, a shot. You want to create chaos. And right now it's not happening. I mean, you had a 5-on-3 for almost a minute last night. You got no shot on goal. That's unacceptable. You had almost 12 minutes on the power play, and nothing really happened, nothing dangerous. And it comes back to what he was saying, and it's basic, and you have the horses to do it. 1 pass, 2 pass, maybe 3, then you shot. You never know. You might break a stick. You might injure a guy. You might hit the post, have a juicy rebound, and bang, you go for a garbage goal. But right now, nothing is happening, and it gives you the 31st power play in the league, not even 15%. And don't tell me you don't have the good players. You have Caulfield, you have Suzuki, you have Monahan, who is a pretty good. Well, he's showing some good stuff on the power play right now. So yeah, I don't know, but I wouldn't blame the coaches. It's just, I don't know. You just have to execute the plan. But today at the practice, he spent a lot of time with Kirby Doc working on his one-timer. He did that, you probably remember, with Cole Caulfield, and it worked almost. I think it was the game after. So you never know. But they're working on it. But it's you can work on it. But at the end of the day, it's simple. So I can't hear you right now. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Can't hear you.
All right, here you go. Good?
Yeah, okay.
All right, okay.
Okay.
You want to laugh? This one was on me. It was on my end. Yeah, I think what happened was, when I took a sip of water, I think I wanted to put myself on mute so that, because I've gone back and I've watched some of the shows, and watch this, okay? Watch this. Now we lost them again. Tonight's going to be one of those nights, I'll tell you.
Listen, we're good.
You hear that, right?
I did.
Okay. So because I've gone back and I've watched the shows and I've heard that, I decided that, you know what? I have a mute button on my board and I have a mute button here on the on the software that we're using or the website that we're using. So I decided to hit the mute button. Then what did I do? I didn't take it off.
Congrats.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I don't want to get into it too technically, but I have the website, the streaming service that we use, that website, and I have YouTube open at the same time. So I mute myself on the streaming service when I'm drinking, but if I open the YouTube page, I can't see that I'm muted. You get it? Once I went back, I saw that I was muted. Anyway, we're going to have fun tonight. I don't know if you caught me and Max Van Hout last night of BPM
I did not.
All right. Me and Jean-Charles Lajoie tonight, JC at TVA Sport. But I brought something up. The Canadiens, as you know, are doing very, very poorly on the power play.
Yes.
Last night, at one point, they had a 5-on-3 power play. Jean-Charles says he doesn't like when power plays happen at the start of periods. He just finds it takes a while to get into it, and it usually doesn't work out. Okay. I said to Jean-Charles, I said, when you saw that 5-on-3 power play, did you think of something? And he looked at me and he said, what are you talking about? And I said, no, tell me what's the first thing that came to your mind, like how they have to get out of this rut. And then he says, tell me. And I said, well, I'm not saying they should have done it, but I thought about something last night on the 5-on-3. Do you have any idea where I'm going with this, Marc-André?
No idea. You tell me, my friend.
Pull the goalie to go 6-on-3.
Oh, stop it.
Listen to me carefully. Marty St. Louis is a different kind of cat. And I'm telling you right now, I know why he didn't go for it. And the reason why he didn't go for it is I don't think the league is too crazy about teams pulling the goalie on a power play. You don't see it very often. Especially in the beginning of the season. And with all the sports books attached to the National Hockey League and betting on games and this and that, I think it's actually something that worries them. Also, the Canadiens fan base, some of them are saying, oh, they're tanking. When they don't win games, they say they're tanking. When they win games, they don't talk about that stuff. If he pulls his goalie and they give up a goal, you're going to have a bunch of fans criticizing. You're going to have a bunch of fans saying, you see, they're tanking, they're throwing away the season. I told this to Jean-Charles earlier tonight, and I'm going to tell you right now. Cut the tape. Save this. November 30th, 10:15 p.m. Eastern. The second the Canadiens are out of the playoff race, you're going to see they're going on a power play and they're pulling the goalie. Remember what I told you.
I'll remember, but I don't think Marty St. Louis is coaching thinking what the league is thinking what the fans are. I don't think at 1-0 it was. I mean, if it's 3-0, you want to create something. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. At 1-0, forget it. Not gonna happen.
I tell you that when they're going to be out of contention, they're going to do it.
That's a different story. But yesterday, not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, no, yesterday, not a chance. They're not out of contention. But when they're out of contention, they're going to do it. And by the way, they'll do it more than once. And yes, sure. You know, Fedorov's done it several occasions in overtime in the KHL 3-on-3. Hey, Patrick Roy did it a couple of weeks ago. Because somebody's saying foolishness, wake up. Hey, Patrick Roy did it a couple of weeks ago with 10 minutes left in the game. 10 minutes left in the game. In the KHL, they've done it 3-on-3 overtime to go 4-on-3 in the overtime. Marty St. Louis is going to do it. And folks, for all of you telling me that it's a foolish take, the second that they do it, I will come back and I will remind you that I said it. and then I'll probably even give you
You
more.
gotta
intel.
take off your shirt,
And then I'm not gonna. You know what? 20 years ago I would have taken off my shirt. I'm not taking it right now. I want people to love my hair and my bluish green eyes and stuff like that. I take off my shirt, forget about it. It's all over.
Okay.
And then, you know what? After they do it, maybe I'll give you a little bit more intel on that story. Juraj Slafkovsky, we talked about him yesterday too. I can't see him playing on a fourth line anymore. It's starting to affect my health.
You're like, it's hard on your breathing or what?
You know what? I have intestinal pain. It's my blood pressure rises. I have different symptoms.
I think Marty St. Louis is scratching his head on how to use Slavkovsky, like the best use he could do. Because I don't know, his time on ice is like that. He was on the second line for whatever time, and then back on the fourth, and he's got his power play time. What I really liked about Slavkovsky last night, he had a good zone entrance at one point, but he blocked a shot. I'm not sure. I think it was 3-0, and he put himself in danger, blocking a shot. I really like that.
Yeah, I really like our number one pick overall to block shots too. So he can break a hand like Brendan Gallagher broke it twice. Mapper, what are you talking about? You really like them blocking a shot?
Yeah, it tells me that wherever they are in the standings, whatever is the score, they're willing to do whatever it takes. I mean, come on, it's you know how important it is for your teammates. You never know where the shot is gonna end. I really like that, but it's not the same as going in the front of the net when it's your Shea Weber. It's not the same, but I noticed it. Same thing with Caden Goalie, who blocked a big shot on the PK in the first period. For me, it tells me a lot about this young group.
Yeah,
it tells me about the will to do anything it's going to take to win. I really like that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I want to let you know we're having some slight connection issues. Obviously, this is not on you. The good news is that we can hear you. The bad news is that you jam up every now and then. Now, usually the connection has been great, okay? But I have to ask you, did you check into a Motel 8 this time or what?
No, I'm at the Marriott downtown. It's
you're at the
great
Marriott
hotel. Everything is normal, and you know what? You're
not at the Motel Ideal back in the day where you rented for 4 hours for $35 and
let's see what the number of traveling I'm doing. I have good bosses. I wanted to tell you before I forget.
Tell me.
Daryl Sutter today. By the way, he's one of my favorite. I kind of have a man crush on him. He's just an entertainer. He still owns his farm.
Wow, geez, I thought you had a man crush on me.
Also, I like nice people. I like genuine people.
Yeah.
Authentic people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Daryl Sutter is still owning his farm. Talk to him about farming, and he's your friend for life. Okay. So, anyways, today he's talking about Sean Monahan, saying that if he would had a long-term deal with the Flames, he would be the captain. That's first. Second, he said, whatever, if you're in the rebuild, a reset, whatever, you need good persons, good teammates, and the guys who always compete. He says, Sean Monahan, check, check, check. How in the world did that trade happen? Knowing that Daryl Sutter is thinking and saying that about Sean Monahan?
Yeah, well, sometimes coaches can make a trade happen or stop a trade from happening. And it leads me to believe that, unfortunately, he didn't win out on this one. By the way, I have something for you, as you know, when you said you have a man crush on Daryl Sutter. For those who are watching, we've shared the story in the past that you went out with a young lady once upon a time who wore a shirt about Tony Marinaro. And this is before you and I actually knew each other. And it made you a little bit uncomfortable. And you told her, if you want to wear the shirt, you can wear it, but do not wear it when we go out on dates or when we're together. Correct? That's the story, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to show her, but cropped it out. And look at this. Can we see it here? Hold on a second. Let me see how we can see it here. Hold on.
You're going to bring that up how many times?
Hold on a second.
Just read it.
You see it?
I see it. I mean, I've seen it. You like bringing that up, like pretty much every time we text or we talk. So yes, I have seen it.
Yeah. It made me laugh.
You should send me a shirt like that, so I can.
Well, can I tell you something? I mean, I didn't come out with those shirts. She had it made.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
It's even worse.
I think if I recall the story that she was part of a wolf pack at the time. 3 or 4 friends like Alan, Stu, Doug, and what's the other one's name? Is it Brian from that? What was his name from The Hangover? Alan, Stu, Doug, and the other one is who?
I don't know. I didn't watch that. It's not me.
Never. Hold on a second. You never watched The Hangover?
I did not.
Oh, listen. You have no idea what you're missing, bud.
Well, fun, alcohol, Vegas. It's not me. It's just not me.
Okay. Do you like comedies?
I do.
This is the funniest movie of all time.
I will watch it. I promise.
The Hangover. I'm telling you, watch it. It's going to change your life.
Okay, I will.
There's 3 hangovers. In my opinion, the original one, number 1, is the best one.
Okay.
But they're all worth watching.
Okay.
They're all worth watching. Frank says I should invite you to my spa, and maybe we can watch it together.
I mean, I'm open-minded, so let's.
It's absolutely fantastic.
So what about Sean Monahan? Daryl Sutter.
Yeah. So no, look.
I mean, they gave 7 times 7 to Nazem Kadri.
Yeah.
But to make space for him, they got rid of Sean Monahan.
You got to think it's the GM's doing, right? Like you just got to think it's the GM's doing.
Kent Hughes is a genius.
Oh, I think he's a genius because he's going to be able to trade him before the deadline, and I think he's going to get a first-round pick.
Can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine?
I think he's going to get a first-round pick, and you know what? I know Kent Hughes told Anthony Martineau of TVA Sports that his goal is to go out and get a third first-round pick in the 2023 draft. Yeah, I think he's going to end up having 4.
I don't know. He's not gonna speak 4 times on the podium, but it's something, if you want to, you can use it for trades or whatever. But that would be amazing.
But maybe not. Like if the 2023 draft is going to be one of the 2 deepest drafts in the history of the National Hockey League, especially 2 rounds deep, like 2003, and that's the draft that it's being compared to. If they have 4 picks, they might use all 4, man. Why wouldn't they?
Know. Not you never know, but it's like having 4 jokers.
Yeah.
In your deck. So
you remember the 2003 draft? I think Getzlaf went something like 19th, and Perry went something like 23.
It was 20 something. Let's hold on a second. It was my friend. Hold on a second. Getzlaf was selected. Sorry about that. Oh, 19 Getzlaf and Perry 28.
19 Getzlaf and Perry 28. Wow. What a draft.
Yeah. So
what a draft. The Sick Podcast brought to you in part by 8.6 Beer, intense by nature. The beer for those who follow their instinct and live their passions in order to make their mark. I want to let you know that Chris from Six Sports Cards La Tornade, this is our Six Sports Cards segment, I should say, but, Sport La Tornade, Sports Cards, is going to join us a little bit later on in about 10 or 15 minutes or so. We're having a lot of fun here. I'm looking forward to seeing Tyler Toffoli in the game tomorrow. Here's a guy who signed with the Montreal Canadiens as an unrestricted free agent. He took less money that he could have got on the marketplace. He really wanted to come back and play in Canada. He really wanted to play for the Canadiens. He absolutely loved it here. He didn't say no to a trade, obviously not. He got reunited with Daryl Sutter, with whom he won the Stanley Cup in Los Angeles, but he would have been happy to stay here. I really like Tyler Toffoli. He gave the Canadiens really good value. He gave them everything he had.
Well, I mean, that's another great move by the Canadiens. He's doing well here, and I mean, Daryl Sutter really loves Tyler Toffoli. He's a shooter. He scored a big goal in the last game. Against the Panthers. But you got a first rounder. Emil Heineman, we'll see. He had a pretty good camp, so it's how do you say that? Gestion des actifs,
asset management.
Asset management it's above average for Kent Hughes, and Tyler Toffoli is doing great. I think it did work. It's the perfect trade for both teams.
Yeah,
and we'll see. We'll see what happens next, but can you imagine Sean Monahan signing there next year? Let's say he's traded, and So, anyways,
I like Monahan. By the way, I like Monahan. I hope that Slavkovsky can play a couple of games in a row with Monahan, because a couple of weeks ago we saw him with Dvorak and Gallagher. One game later, he was back down on the fourth line, and Dadonov was on that line. Look, I've talked about getting Dadonov playing time. I've talked about him putting in winning situations as well, because you want to try and up his value, because you want to get something for him. But I have to tell you, man, with all due respect to the player, I'm having a really hard time watching Dadonov play hockey. Like, every time he's on the ice, I go into one of those moments where I'm contemplating. I keep watching him.
Yeah.
I go to the laundry room and drink Javel. Or I go upstairs in my kitchen, grab a fork, and stick it in my eye. And I always contemplate between the three. And I just figure that drinking Javel or sticking a fork in my eye are probably not the best things for my gut or my eye. So I end up continuing watching Dadonov play. But it's getting to the point where I might drink the Javel instead.
I mean, I don't think Health Canada think it's a good idea, but
no, and this is not recommended, folks. This is like the WWE. Please do not try this at home, okay? Because this could be dangerous.
You never know. But yeah, Dadonov, I think the plan was to give him good minutes and maybe make his value go up. But you said it. I mean, nothing is happening. Nothing is going to happen. He's not bad. He's just, normal. He has some good flashes, but not enough to wish that, Montreal can get anything from him. It's going to be interesting when the injured players are going to come back. I mean, you're going to have to make some big decision. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Insta Custom says he doesn't think that Monahan will fetch a first at the deadline or before, because he's on an expiring contract. He doesn't have a contract at the end of the year. Agree or disagree?
Disagree. Sherratt did exactly that.
Sherratt did exactly that.
And Monahan is a better hockey player than Ben Sherratt. And no disrespect to Ben Sherratt. He is built for the playoffs. So is Monahan, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Because Sherratt,
And
Marc Bergevin had signed them to a 3-year deal at 10.5, 3.5 per season. Final year of his deal, and he traded him before the deadline. You're right.
And then Florida lost him for nothing because he signed with the Red Wings. So, but no, it's the opposite because Monahan, let's say Montreal retained half of his salary, so a team that has a chance to win the cup, normally they're pretty close to the plafond salarial. So you don't have that much money to spend. You get a guy who, because you never know. Let's say, I don't know, any team, and there's an injured player, you can put Monahan anywhere and he's gonna do the job. So, and then after you don't have to pay him for the year after. It doesn't affect your plafond salarial. So no, it's actually a very good thing that Sean Monahan is UFA at the end of this season. It makes his value higher.
All right. So is there anything that we haven't said about Dadonov that you'd like to get off your mind? Like, what do we do here?
Well, for now, there's no rush. You wait. When Hoffman and Drouin are back, you take decisions. But now it's going to be something like when they're going to be back. Well, I'm guessing 25, 26 games. I mean, you know what you have to do. It's almost 1/3 of the season. You know what you have to do. You know with which horses you want to, keep on growing. So we'll see. But let's say he's on the bubble.
All right. Okay. This whole situation between Jake Allen and Samuel Montembeault. Marty St. Louis a couple of days ago says that Jake Allen's his number one goalie. If you take a look at his stats, clearly he's not. Now, what I found curious in this entire situation is that Marty St. Louis doesn't go out of his way to say that Suzuki's the number one center, or that Monahan's the number two, or that Dvorak's the number two, or Dvorak's 3 and Monahan's 2, or vice versa. He doesn't go out of his way to say that Jake Evans is the number 4. He doesn't go out of his way to say that Cole Caulfield's the first line winger, and he doesn't go out of his way to say that Josh Anderson's the second line winger. So my question to you is, why did he go out of his way, in your opinion, to say that Jake Allen's his number one goalie?
Players coach, he wants to bring the confidence back to Jake Allen, because I really do think that in his mind, well, I mean, it's obvious. Jake Allen was number one goalie. I think Samuel Montembeault is better than they expected. I'm not sure they fully trust that Samuel Montembeault can keep the pace. And it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen in the next 4 games. Because
so if I don't want to put words in your mouth, you're not overly convinced that this is the real Montembeault. Are you saying that you think he might be playing over his head?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm not sure that the organization is fully confident with him being the number one goalie on the short or long term. In the next 4 games, you have to split, right?
Yeah,
you have to split because there's a back-to-back Vancouver, Seattle. You have to give Sam at least one start. He deserves it, and you want to send the right message to Sam Montembeault and his teammates. The message that you're gonna be rewarded if you do the right thing, if you play well. And Samuel Montembeault is the perfect athlete right now. I mean, he's not saying anything. He's taking his pill, and he's playing great.
I have a lot of respect for him, Mapper, because I'll put up my hand right now and say that, you know what, I was wrong, because when I saw Montembeault goal the first couple of times, my head told me that this guy's not an NHL goalie, but he works really hard. His progression in the last year has been admirable.
Yeah.
And I think the cool part is that he can actually even still play better. I think he has a ceiling that he hasn't hit yet. And
He's only 26.
I'm really proud that he was able to prove me wrong. And I don't think I'm alone, by the way. I think there were others that when they saw him goal, they said, my God, this guy's just, he looked all wrong. Like, I just thought his technique was, without being a goalie expert, I thought his technique was way, way off. But
I think the organization agreed with you because, I mean, you
he's
remember
a gamer, man.
They brought up Primo to make him play instead of Montembeault when there was injuries. So the organization was thinking the same way as you. But let's not forget, he was injured last year as well.
Yes.
The wrist, that doesn't help. And all the credit goes to him and Eric Raymond. They did a great job. I'm not saying he is a number one goalie in the league. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But he deserves the trust. He deserves the chance to prove himself. And you never know. Maybe Sam Montembeault, at the end of the day, will be your backup goalie for years to come. And right now, if you have a backup goaltender like Samuel Montembeault, you're in business.
It's probably a crazy question, but it wouldn't be the first one that I asked that's crazy, and I'm going to ask it anyway. Seeing as they extended Jake Allen, do you think that there's a possibility that they're spotting Montembeault, giving him good games, he has good stats, and they'll try and trade him, considering he was picked up off of waivers? So you get a guy for free, you play him, you bring up his value, you trade him, you get something. I know you just said, don't be surprised if Montembeault is your backup for years to come, but would you be shocked if they traded him?
No. Well, you can expect the unexpectable in hockey. History tells the same, but right now, I mean, you don't want to go. I think Jake Allen, when they signed him, I think the plan was to trade him. But now his value is very low. And I'm not saying that Jake Allen is a bad goaltender. And let's be careful here. He's a good goaltender. I mean, he has good stats in his career. It's been a little, downslope in the last 2 or 3 years, but he is not a bad goaltender. He is having a bad sequence, and it's a tough one because he's allowed 22 goals in the last 5 starts. 10 times out of 14 allowed 3 goals or more. It's a bad start for Jake Allen, but let's not start saying he's bad. He's never been good. It is not true. Jake Allen is a good goaltender.
He is a good goaltender.
He's a number one goaltender in the league. He could be, or whatever. He proved that he can be. Now it's tough, and now Montembeault is playing well, so you have to go with your best horse.
Hey, right, Marc-André, you want a sick truth?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, he was better than Carey Price in the regular season.
Well, that's.
I didn't say he was a better goalie. I'm not saying he's a better goalie. I said a couple of years ago in the regular season, he was a more consistent goalie than Carey Price. Obviously, Carey Price was the guy they had to play in the playoffs, obviously. But Jake Allen, he's not a 1A in his prime, and he's probably, better than a number 2.
We agree on that.
So he's in his prime, he was probably a 1B. Fortunately for him, he's not in his prime right now, but I think everyone's pulling for him to turn it around, unless, of course, with the exception of those who are really in favor of the rebuild. And if he has a terrible season, it's okay. Hey, it is where you are in Calgary. It is 8:41 p.m. right now because it's 10:41. You're going to go to bed at 8:41?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, again, I'm doing so many games on the road. Can you imagine if I start going out every time I'm in a new city? I won't make it. So I drink my healthy juice.
Your healthy juice, yeah. Do you bring you pick it up somewhere, or you bring your blend? You bring your blender with you on the road. What do you do here?
No, I pick it up. I eat my veggies, my fruits, and my everything. I'm not what I was before when I started. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. So you have you have your veggies, you have your healthy juice with you. Well, good for you, man.
I'm trying, but
good for you.
It's tough because though you go at the lounge and there's chips and candies.
Yeah, I know. I understand
crazy
that.
for candies.
I'd love to live in a world where I can go to bed at like 8:41 p.m. But obviously, this show I never finish before 11, and it seems like I never get to bed before midnight.
Well, I'm gonna have a snore for you, my friend.
Yeah,
you say that?
Yeah, there are nights when I do get to bed at midnight, but I actually only end up falling asleep at around 3:30 in the morning.
Classic.
But that's another story for another day. Hey, thank you for doing this, man. We'll talk to you again. Well, what are the Canadiens going to do in Calgary, in Edmonton, in Vancouver, and in Seattle? Give me a prediction. Let's go. Away, mon chum.
1 out of 4. 1 win out of 4.
One win out of 4.
Yeah.
Ça sent la tank. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, my friend. See everyone.
All right. There you have it. Shop all your sports licensed lifestyle apparel, including hoodies, caps, and T-shirts. Look at this one. From all your favorite teams in all major leagues, as well as our sick merchandise at sportbuffshop.com. Use code SICK10 for 10% off on all of their items. With that said, I promised you Chris Latournade. It's now time for us to talk Sick Sports Cards.
Sick Sports Cards. Presented by Sports La Tornade.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very good. Sick Sports Cards presented by Sport La Tornade. Sports cards, collectibles, and more. Visit the store at 1 Avenue de la Fabrique in Vaudreuil-Dorion. I actually Googled you earlier this morning. I could have actually just as easily sent you a text message. I wanted to see what time you opened at, and it said you opened at 11 o'clock this morning. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, I had an errand to run, and I wanted to see if I could have made it to Vaudreuil-Dorion in time because, as you know, I sent you some text messages about some soccer players' cards that I'm looking at. I purchased some cards from you the other day. Eh?
Yes, you did. Yeah, and I'm still working on your list here. I have your list and I'm working on it. Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with what I got. In the end, what did I get? I got about 10 cards for $100.
Yeah, you did actually, and I'm still working here. See, it says Tony.
Oh, look at that. Okay, very good. Oh, thank you very much.
Your stack is growing.
If all goes well, I might try and drop by to come see you tomorrow afternoon. I want to watch the Canada game, of course, between 10 and noon. Then I'll have a bite to eat with my buddy. And then maybe after that in the afternoon, what time you close your store tomorrow?
8 o'clock tomorrow.
8 o'clock tomorrow night. Okay. All right. That's pretty cool. Hey, I have something I want to show you in a second, but a lot of people have been asking me and a lot of people wondering, and a lot of people are on the chat right now on YouTube, especially, which we're live on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free. You're going to love it. And if you like what you're hearing and like what you're seeing, hit the like button, share it with your friends, of course, share it on social media, and, comment SICK, SICK. Chris, how did you get started in the business?
Well, it was while I was a kid, like 5 years old. I was playing hockey and got all those packs after every game. It's kind of one of those things where you score a goal, your parents buy you a pack of cards, and away you go.
Hopefully for you scored a lot of goals, bud.
I had my years, yeah.
I'm going to share a story that I'm sure you've heard like 1,000 times, right? And I'm going to show you what it is. I keep my cards in here. It's a shoebox, right? And I had a lot of these as a kid. I'm sure you've heard this story a million times. And you know what? I don't even want to go, like, if I had the chance to go back to actually see what was in the box, I'd rather not see it, because now it would hurt me, because my mother ended up throwing all those shoe boxes away. There's one thing you need to know about Italian households, right? If you don't touch something in your closet, you don't wear something in your closet, you don't put it to use for more than like a month, you actually put it in garbage bags and you give it away. Okay. And I don't know how many cards went to somebody else, but they did. And I'm not pretty happy. I'm not overly happy about that. But so I have this because at some point I started collecting a little bit, like not a lot. Like I really have nothing. But there's a couple of cards that I'm really curious to show you. And I don't know if you would know off the top of your head what they're worth or what they aren't worth. But here, I'll just try. So I got this. Hot Rookies. PK Subban.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, is it a good one?
Well, see, off the top of my head, I don't have the prices in front of me, but what I can do is I can explain to you how to find it.
Okay, so this is a card by Score, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I find that? Yeah.
Score's no longer around, so those cards are not worth that much. But
as luck would have it.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? It's fine. If you ever want to look up those cards, the best place to go is on eBay. Now, the one thing that people get fooled with is they go on eBay and they just look at what's for sale and they see the big price. But what you got to look for is go in the filter and look at what's sold already. So if you take the average of the sold price, that'll give you an idea.
Got it. Raymond Singh sign sold for a couple of days in a row now. I mentioned it. What it's going to get me, I don't know. I have a feeling it'll get me nothing. But anyway, that's okay as long as I have a support. He says, can you ask Chris if he would buy my whole collection of hockey cards from the 90s?
You can always bring it in. So the 90s are a little bit touchy. They overproduce a lot of cards, and a lot of them are not worth anything in the 90s, unfortunately. But I always encourage to come in and have a look. That way, I can look through it and I can give you an idea pretty quickly.
Okay. All right. So why don't I do this? I'm going to take out. I should have had them ready here. I'm going to take out a couple of cards here. Okay. All right. Is this a rookie card? Yes or no?
Who is that?
Eric Lindros.
No, that's with his OHL team, right?
Yeah, with the Oshawa Generals. And I put a little sticker here saying rookie because I thought it was his rookie card, but obviously I know nothing. That's not his rookie card.
Well, there is different variations of rookie cards. So sometimes some people will consider that a rookie card, but there's a lot of debate a lot of times of what is the true rookie, especially when it comes to baseball and stuff like that. Some of their rookies are like on three different seasons, depending on how many games they play. So,
okay, is by any chance it's an OPG card? Is this Luc Robitaille's rookie card? Would you know?
Yeah, that one looks familiar. Yeah. So, yeah, the older stuff. I don't have a lot of the older stuff lately, but there's still a niche for that. There's still people looking for those. So if you want to look that up on eBay, you could look through the sold items and you can find what it's worth.
I think it's a 96, 97. I have this card here, Upper Deck. It says World Junior Tournament, and it's Alex Kovalev.
Yeah,
Now, hold on a second. You know, this protector that I have, it says rookie card, but it doesn't mean it's a rookie card, right? I just use them as a protector, right? But
right.
Is this a rookie card by any chance? Or?
That card is actually very popular. I've seen that card a lot. Is it a rookie card? I don't think so, but it's definitely in his younger years, and that card does circulate a lot in the hobby.
Well, that's not a good thing to hear, though, right? When you say I've seen that card a lot, I shouldn't be happy about that, right?
No, actually, I've seen it. Actually, it's something that people have gotten graded from what I saw lately. and plus he was popular. So,
Okay. This one here is from Upper Deck. Matt Sundin.
Yeah. That also same thing as the Kovalev. That also circulates. We see those. Unfortunately, those are all cards from the 90s also, so they don't hold as much value. They don't have as much value as, say, the cards now.
Yeah,
but
as luck would have it, I have the same one for Peter Forsberg.
Yeah, though exactly. You're pulling out all the classic ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling out all the ones that aren't worth nothing. That's really, really good. I have this one here from Chris Pronger. You ever see this one before? Or?
Yes, I have. Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let me ask you: am I ever going to be rich at some point here, or am I sitting on $3 a card here? What am I doing here?
No, you're definitely not going to be rich on what you showed me. But
that's great. That's great.
But it piques a lot of interest. Those cards, like
that's good. Yeah.
Anybody of our age, anyone's that watched hockey in the 90s and stuff and knew those guys. There's some people that appreciate more of that stuff than the newer stuff. So
yeah,
there's different kinds of collectors, right?
I was all excited. I thought I had some pretty good cards. It seems like everyone has these cards that I have, and they're worth nothing. And this guy tells me that it piques a lot of interest. Look how many of those. I was so excited. Look how many of those Chris Pronger cards that I had. I was so excited. I was convinced that it was worth something. It's worth nothing. Yeah. And this guy tells me that it piques a lot of interest. Yeah, so does my hair, and so do my eyes.
Well, that's it's a good thing that you were focused on certain players of your era and stuff like that. So
please tell me this scorecard of Marty Brodeur is worth something.
Not much.
Oh, I had about 10 of those too.
Yeah. You're not rich yet.
Okay. So I'm starting to think then, as I'm going to go through them here very quickly. Nicholas Lidstrom. Okay. I'm starting to think that my most popular card then is this one over here.
Any one of those guys that's a Hall of Famer is always good to have.
Lionel Messi?
Yeah, there you go. That's a nice one.
Now, hold on a second. I have two of them. Which would you know which one is?
The gold one.
The gold one?
Yeah, the gold one. Yeah, that one.
Okay, what is this worth?
That's about $75.
That's $75 for that card?
Yeah, that's about $75 for that one.
Okay, all right. Soccer cards, football cards, baseball cards, hockey cards, you name it. If somebody wants to collect, but they only want to collect basketball cards, but they only want to collect one particular sport, which cards should they collect and why?
So that's a good question. I love when people come in, they're new and they're asking me about those kind of things. So what I try to do is I try to line them up. First of all, you got to pick your sport. You don't want to collect too much stuff where you get lost in the whole thing. So you want to pick that sport. You want to either pick a team or a player to go with, and try and stick with that and stick within your budget. So right now, a lot of people are into the soccer, into the World Cup, but so if you pick a player per se, you can focus on getting that player. And I suggest that people stick with rookies. If you go to hockey per se, you go with the Series 1, the Series 2, which is popular, comes out same date every year. And people like the Young Guns that we showed to Cole Caulfield on one of the episodes. People like to collect the Young Guns. There's 50 Young Guns per set. People like to do that set. And I like to say that that's a very good starting point, is to start there. And if you want to go into the the bigger market and you want to go into the higher level cards, you can, but you just got to be careful. And the Young Guns are the most popular when it comes to trading. So if you want to go to shows and most of the booths they have a lot of Young Guns. If you go to trade nights, we're having a trade night here at the store on December 10th. Anyone can bring their boxes of cards, and everyone sets up and we just trade cards. So rookies, Young Guns are definitely a good starting point for that.
Okay, well, listen, I love you, but I mean, how am I going to win a trade versus a guy like you? Like that's it's not going to work out well for me.
Well, I'm not like my name is worth way more than the like.
Good
I'm
answer.
not gonna,
Good answer. I know it is. You're a man of integrity. I know that. You wouldn't pull a fast one on anyone. I read you the first time I met you, but I'm just playing with you. But no, that's pretty good. You know what? December 10th. That falls on one day. Is that a Saturday? What is that?
That is a Saturday. Yeah, that's a Saturday.
That is a Saturday. And what
Yeah.
time are you going to be doing that?
That's from noon to 5.
Maybe if we can get like everyone watching right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, we can get everyone to your store that day. And maybe I'll come in and I'll hang out with you for a bit and stuff like that, and give me an opportunity to maybe shake some hands and say hi to everybody.
Yeah, we can meet some viewers for sure.
All right.
And
so I think you gave the advice for those who don't collect but are probably thinking of collecting. Your advice: stick with rookie cards.
Stick with rookie cards and stick within your budget. Don't try to overdo it all in the first month, because I see a lot of people start big and then they crash and burn. So you want to start slow, start with the rookie cards, find a team or a player and a sport and stick with that. Okay,
so I want to get back to you starting in the business. You were playing, and when you were playing, your parents would buy you a pack of cards every now and then. So you started to collect. At one point, though, did you say, you know what, I want to do this for a living? Was there some kind of sign that was sent to you that you said, hey, you know what, this could be a real good business. It could be a profitable business, and it could be one that I can enjoy.
So like I mentioned in the first episode, I was in the Army for many years, and I always had it in the back of my mind where one day I want to be my own boss. I want to do my own thing. And I really want to do, like, everyone says you want to do your passion. So I just followed suit with that. I made it work. I started doing live openings of boxes and stuff online, live on my kitchen table. That's how it started. And people were joining in. People were buying cards online, stuff like that. And I just, I was really taking up a lot of room in my basement. I had a whole collection in my basement, moved in with my wife. And, now that we have kids, there's no room for sports cards. So to the store we went.
I got it. And the kids are old.
They're 1.5, 3.5.
Okay, so they're too young to start collecting. But which cards have you actually collected for them that you are not going to sell, that you have put in a vault, and it's going to be the kids' college education fund maybe one day? Have you put any of those aside that are cards that you have that you say, you know what, I am not selling these cards?
Yes, I do have a collection of Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was always my biggest collector. I do have Ronald Acuna Jr. from the Atlanta Braves. I'm a big Atlanta Braves fan. I collect Ronald a lot, so I have a lot of Ronald Acuna Jr. I have Tiger Woods. I do have McDavid. All that stuff. All those big cards are in a vault.
Tiger Woods cards. Talk to me. What are we talking about here?
So I actually just completed a set of Tiger Woods. It's actually, the leaderboard at the Masters and stuff. They took the letters from the leaderboard and made it into cards, and he autographed every one. And each card was numbered to 10. So there's only 10 of each letter.
Wow.
They're called letterboard marks. And I actually completed. I put it on my Spallet Tornade page. I actually completed the name Tiger Woods. So I have all 10 cards spelling out Tiger Woods, and that's a complete set. And I think that is the only set in the world. There might be one or maybe another one, but I really doubt it. It's a set that I was able to complete. It's now in a vault and worth a lot of money.
Wow. Where's that vault? Is it at your house or at the store?
Yeah, that's I like to put them at the safety deposit box at the bank. So
good for you. That's a smart place to put it. Chris, this has been a lot of fun. And once again, reminding everyone that you are Sport La Tornade, and you are in Vaudreuil-Dorion at 1 Avenue de la Fabrique. You're going to be open tomorrow. You're open, obviously, on Friday, Saturday. And are you open on Sundays?
Yes, I am. The only day that we're closed is Mondays.
Okay. So hopefully this brings you more questions and a little bit of traffic, and you and I will talk soon. All right?
Thank you.
Thanks, my man. There you have it. Chris from Sport Cards La Tornade. Love this guy. Pretty cool guy. You know what? From cards, that might be worth the price of gold one day to actually going for the gold.
Go for gold. A daily World Cup report.
Alfonso Davies keeps it himself. Goal!
Presented by Bijouterie Bossy.
Alfonso Davies.
And there you have it, of course. Go for Gold, brought to you by Bijouterie Bossy, which is on Saint Michel. Here you have Bijouterie Bossy. They provide a professional service and fine jewelry for over 30 years. Visit the store at 9640 Boulevard Saint Michel, of course, in Montreal. You can call them at 514-387-9528. We'll talk to you about what happened at the World Cup today. It was a very, very dramatic day. Man, it was unbelievable. Australia upset Denmark, and there you have it. Denmark is out, and Australia actually goes through to the round of 16. Isn't this absolutely unbelievable? Tunisia beats France by a score. Tunisia beats France by a score of 1-0, but unfortunately, it's not enough for Tunisia to advance, so they're eliminated, and France obviously does go through. France did not start a lot of their regulars, and then once they saw that they were losing the game, but Tunisia scored, and then they parked the bus, and that's what you should do. Not what every team does, but they did it, and it worked out, but unfortunately, they do not advance. Lionel Messi missed a penalty shot for Argentina in the 39th minute when the game was scoreless, but luckily for Argentina, 1 minute into the second half, McAllister puts them up by a score of 1-0. And at the 67th minute, Julian Alvarez scores a beautiful goal. Argentina beat Poland by a score of 2-0. Now listen to this. Mexico was up on Saudi Arabia by a score of 2-0. At that point, to determine which team was going to finish second in the group and which was going to go through in Group C, Mexico and Poland were tied. And the goal differential was tied. So the head-to-head was a tie. The goal differential was a tie. And the third tiebreaker is fair play. It's yellow cards. Poland had less than Mexico. So Poland was going to go through in that respect. Mexico needed to score another goal and win that game 3-0. So they opened up, and unfortunately for them, Saudi Arabia scores to narrow their lead to 2-1. So Mexico is out, and Saudi Arabia is out, and Argentina and Poland go through. There are games tomorrow. These are the games. Canada versus Morocco tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Croatia versus Belgium. We know that Canada is eliminated, but Morocco, Croatia, and Belgium have everything to play for. Two of them are going to go through. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's Japan versus Spain and Costa Rica versus Germany. By the way, I want to let you know that Agnello and I and Sammy and I, we've been talking about it, and we asked you a couple of days ago, what should we do with our Sick podcast on the nights that the Montreal Canadiens are playing late night games? And for example, they will be playing Calgary Flames tomorrow night at 9 p.m. The game will end anywhere between 11:30 and 11:40 p.m. Eastern. Do we go on then, or do we continue with our normally scheduled 10 p.m. Eastern time? We've decided we're going to continue with our normally scheduled 10 p.m. Eastern time. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to set up a stand here next to my table, and I'm going to put up a big screen, and I'm going to be on live YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and I'm going to be watching the game. And I know you're going to be watching the game, but you'll have your phone in your hand, and it'll give you an opportunity to actually watch the podcast while you're watching the game. So, if you ever wondered what it would feel like to watch a game with Marinaro, even though we're not physically going to be together tomorrow, well, you'll be able to watch my reactions, if any, whether I'm happy or upset if the Canadiens score or get scored on, whether they miss a chance, there's a fight, whatever, you name it. You're going to be able to see me through all my emotions tomorrow night. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And I got a story for you, by the way, about this kind of stuff, and it has to do with European soccer. I'll save that story for you for tomorrow. I think we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. It's going to be kind of like an original show for us. We've never done anything like that before. And once again, I'm pretty convinced that everyone's going to enjoy it. At least I hope you will. Hey, let's give it a shot and let's see what happens. And you can expect the unexpected. Special thanks to Energy Transportation Group, as well as 8.6 Beer, and as well as Luggage, for bringing you the Sick Podcast. Thanks to my Sick Army for being out there in big numbers tonight. I see you on YouTube. I see you on Facebook. I see you on Twitter. Like it, share it with your friends. If you're going to go listen tomorrow via Google, Apple, or Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way. And comment SICK, SICK. That's our way of feeling the love. Have a great night, everyone. I'm Marinaro.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, driven to be different, 8.6, intense by nature, and Luggage. If the last time you went to Luggage was when the Habs won the Cup, it's time you went back to Luggage. The menu will surprise you.